In this episode of Toast with Ty, I'm serving up a double dose of love with 2 dessert dishes to cap off your Valentine's Day festivities. We'll start things off with a red wine pear dessert served on a fluffy bed of spiked whipped cream and topped with salty pistachios. Then for the nightcap, I'm making a blackberry sage sorbet cocktail. It's bubbly, it's sweet, it's sexy. I already had my glass of wine poured, so let's get started. So I absolutely love these 2 dishes because you can make them the day ahead. And of course, they're perfect for Valentine's Day because they are both that bright red color of love that you see with the holidays. So let's get started on the red wine pears. I'm gonna go ahead and start by peeling the pears. This whole recipe is very simple. All you gotta do is put all of your ingredients in a pot and let them cook together, and then you marinate it overnight. And essentially, you have your red wine pears. A few extra steps after that, but super easy. Just gonna use a peeler to get as much of the skin off as possible. This is how the pears are gonna absorb that Bordeaux color from the Merlot wine that we're using. Got most of that down. And then we're just gonna go ahead and cut the bottom off so that our pears can stand up nicely on the plate. Just a little bit. Nothing too serious. Right, and that goes in the pot. Let's do another one. I really love using these pears because they are super firm, very in season for Valentine's Day, and that firmness allows them to be able to absorb the color and the flavor of the wine without getting too soft and too mushy. And we'll just cut the bottom off of this one too. Stands up, perfect. Let's put that in the pot. Next, what we're gonna do is add a little bit of citrus flavor with zest and juice of a lemon and an orange. So we'll go ahead and zest those too. You guys know I'm the queen of zest. I'll put lemon zest and orange zest in anything. And then we'll go in and we'll add a few spices. So we have our cinnamon, we have star anise, and we have some cloves, which is just gonna make your whole house smell delicious. We're also gonna add a shot of spiced pear liqueur. Oof, I like that sound. A healthy shot. Some sugar. And then, of course, the star of the show, red wine. We're using Merlot. Because of the deep color that Merlot has, it'll really stain the pears. Love that sound too. And yes, we are using the entire bottle. It's a thing of beauty. All right, so all we're gonna do is just top it off with some water, enough to cover the pears, and then we're gonna go over to the stove, let this come to a boil, let it simmer for 30 minutes, and then it's gonna go in our fridge and hang out overnight. Okay, so now we're ready to make the blackberry sage cocktail, which is one of my favorite cocktail drinks because it's super sexy. So all we need to do to get started is make a sage simple syrup, which is very easy. So we're just gonna add sugar, water, and the sage, and just let it stir up until the sugar dissolves. And then we're just gonna let it sit for 20 minutes off the heat. And we'll have our simple syrup. Okay, so while our red wine pears are in the refrigerator, chilling out, getting the marinade going on, we are gonna work on the blackberry sorbet cocktail, which it is as simple as it looks. Frozen blackberries, frozen pineapple, a little bit of lemon juice. We're gonna add our simple syrup that we made from earlier. Yeah, all of that. A healthy splash. And we're just gonna blend this all up. All right, let's take a look. Ah, perfect. One of the reasons I love this recipe is because, as you can see, everything is done in the blender. We put in the frozen berries, we put in the frozen pineapple, a little bit of liquid, and voila, we have a beautiful red colored sorbet. So you can, if you want to, run this through a strainer to get some of the blackberry pits out if you don't like it, and then put it in the freezer overnight. Just make sure you take it out 20 minutes before you're ready to serve it. But for me, in my house today, we are going straight from the blender to the cocktail glass because it's been a long day and I deserve. So let's get a nice little scoop of this. Put it in our cocktail glass. Then the real fun begins. I'm gonna add some Prosecco. Nice little fizz. Just carefully open this. Ooh, it's a party. Pour it on top of our sorbet. The perfect love spell drink to top off the night. After you come home from a nice dinner date out, make one of these cocktails. Totally sets the mood. The color is there, the fizz is there, love is in the air. This is the perfect cocktail for your date, to spoil your date with. So good. I'm actually gonna keep on sipping on this while I go back to the red wine pears. So I'm gonna grab them from the refrigerator, but just one more drink first. All right. The color on these pears is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that. Your date is gonna love this. So we're just gonna go ahead and strain out the liquid so we can reduce it a little bit. Carefully take our pears out. This way we can strain out all of those extra zest and cinnamon and cloves that were in there, adding the flavor, and we can just focus on reducing the liquid to make a nice little syrup. So I'll put this in a pot and we will take this over to the stove. Perfect, and I'm gonna take my drink with me. Final step in our red wine pears is making the spiked whipped cream, which is also super simple. Just put all the ingredients into your stand mixer and give it a whirl. And of course, I said spiked, right? It's just a toast. All right. Perfect. Okay, so now we are ready to plate our gorgeous red wine pears. So I'm gonna start with taking one out and cutting it. Like I said before, you can stand it up like this on the plate, but I'm feeling a little fun and different today. So I'm gonna do a slice on it. This recipe is so cool because the outside of the pear is what really gets the coloring, but you still kind of get that regular pear color on the inside. So that's why I decided to cut it up this time. Next, we'll go on with the whipped cream. Get a little bit of that on the plate. And when I say a little bit, I mean a lot. Go ahead and plate our pear, our gorgeous pear. Look at that. And then the reduction that we did, we just let it sit on the stove for a couple of hours. I'm gonna put some of that around. Nice little syrup. Then we're gonna top it off with some salted pistachios. Look at that. This is sexy. This is date night worthy. This is really gonna impress your date. Perfect for Valentine's Day. The spiked whipped cream hits you immediately. And then you have the softness from the pear. You get a little subtlety of the wine flavor, but it's not overpowering. And then the crunch from the salty pistachios. This is the ultimate date night dish. So good. And don't forget, we have our blackberry sage cocktail as well. You can get the recipe for this and for the red wine pears on ashleyty.com. Until next time. Cheers.